In this tutorial, I will show you how to create your very own G3 free bone actor from scratch. By using a PSD file, we will focus on the naming rules, like the group naming and the correct naming to build a bone chain inside the PSD. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to open an image that I have. I previously created a PNG image of a scarecrow. So I'm going to bring this in. There's nothing special about this image. It's just a PNG. And I have my own layer inside. So what I need to start doing is I need to create a structure for my character. I need to create a PSD structure with different folders. So what I need to do is first I need to make two folders, Group 1 and Group 2, and I need to rename these. I'm going to name one RL_bone. Okay, these are where I'm going to put all the bones and the joints. And then the second one will be RL_image. And obviously that's where I'm going to drop in my image layer for my character. So I have my layer there. Let me just drag and drop this into the folder. And that's good. All right, so now the next thing I need to do is create my bones or my joints. And this can easily be done by drawing any type of shape and any type of color. It doesn't have to be a circle or green or any color. Anything that you feel that can help you reference your bones and just, contrast them from your image. So I'm going to draw these circles here. I'm going to hold the Alt key to duplicate it right there. Great. This will create another image layer. 3, then the chest bone, and then the neck, and then the head. So we've created all of these different these layers inside, and I'm going to put these all in the same bone folder. Now, like I said, the shape and the color don't really matter. The important thing is the naming. So you need to properly name these. I'm going to call them bone_1, and I'm going to do the same for the second one. Bone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bone 6. Okay. 6, not 16. And I also need to make sure that my image layer is connected to one of these bones. So I'm going to connect it to the bone 1. That's the root bone. So I need to make sure it has the same name, so that that image layer is connected to that first bone of mine. Okay, the one at the bottom right there. So let me give it the same name, bone_1. And obviously they're inside different folders. So that should be okay. Now my image is attached to that root bone that we have. So let me save this PSD file here. Let me go out and find a folder. And this should be okay. Just PSD. Great, so we're ready. Now I'm going to go into CrazyTalk Animator3, and I'm going to import my PSD file. To do this, I need to go into the Create Free Bone Actor tab. This will bring me into the mode, and I can select my PSD file and open it inside. And we have our scarecrow. And you can see that all the bones are named inside, all right? The bone number 1, which is the initial one, the root bone, you can see that it's in red at the very bottom of my scarecrow there. I have a little red dot. If I move these around, you'll notice that the only bone that's controlling the scarecrow is bone 1. The rest of the bones are not working. This is because I haven't named them properly. I need to give them a hierarchy so that they can control the rest of the image. So this is very simple. What I need to do, again, it's all about the naming in Photoshop. So I'm going to go back to my layers, and I'm going to give them a hierarchy. I'm going to connect these bones. I'll make a bone chain. So we're going to have the feet bone connected to the knee bone, and the knee bone connected to the hip bone, and all that jazz. So how do we do this? I simply have to go into the second bone, and I'm going to tell it that it's connected to that first bone. And this is done by adding the nomenclature bone_1 is greater than bone 2. For the third layer, I do the same. I tell the third layer that it's connected to that second layer. So what I'm going to do is I'll tell it that bone 2 is greater than bone 3. And now that third layer is connected to bone 2. And I'll repeat the same process. Bone 3 greater than bone 4. And then for the fifth layer, I'll tell it that bone 4 is connected. I'm sorry, it's greater than bone 5. And then the last one. So this will ensure that I have a structure, a hierarchy with my bone chain inside. They're all connected one after the other. So now I can save this, and I'm going to reopen the same PSD file, the updated one. Inside CrazyTalk Animator3, I just have to reload that PSD file that I just updated. Let me go in here, find my file, and voila. Oh, hold up. Before that, we're going to be asked about the PSD loading options. In order for us to update the bones, select Full Actor. That should be selected by default, and just click OK. And then this should update all my bones to the new hierarchy. Click Close. And now we have our bones, and you see that they're all connected to each other. Okay, and they're following a command between the parent bone and the child bone. And if I preview, you could see that all of them are now controlling that image. They're all working together in tandem to control that initial image layer. Great. So what if I wish to connect more bones to the original structure? Let's say I want to create arms for my scarecrow. Well, it's very simple. I simply create more layers, and I attach the first bone to my chest bone if I wish to. So let me copy one of these joint bones here. Hold the Alt key and just copy. I'll make 4 of them. Okay, and then I'm going to name them. So the last bone we had was bone 6. So this one should be bone 7. And then the next one will be bone 8, I think. Yes, bone 8. Bone 9. And bone 10. Great. And we have to give it the same structure. So the first bone I did is going to be connected to that chest bone. That chest bone is bone 3 greater than bone 4. So I will tell it that bone 4 is greater than bone 7. And then bone 7 is greater than bone 8. So I'm setting a hierarchy with all my arm bones. But that first arm bone, I'm connecting it to my chest bone. Okay? So you see the logic, right? I'm setting up this hierarchy, and after that initial bone, I'm setting up the same chain with the rest of these joints. And if I update my character again, you'll see that now we have these arm bones inside, which I can freely animate also. There we go. Beautiful. So I can select one of these bones here, and you'll see that they're all helping me control that initial image layer. Great. So that was very, very easy. So there's a lot of stuff that I could do with this option. One might think, well, why go through all this hassle? Well, it's simple, because in Photoshop or any other image editor, I have the facility of changing the style of my character. I can change the colors. I can add accessories if I like. So this gives me the ability of doing everything in Photoshop, including setting up my bones prior to importing to CrazyTalk Animator. So I can add accessories like this character, like this scarecrow here. Let me flip this. So I have 2 more image layers, and I need to merge these. Let's merge them into one. And remember, bone has to have the same name as bone underscore 1. So obviously this allows me to create an entire collection of new types of scarecrows with different styles, different colors, different accessories. And it's very, very easy by simply working in Photoshop from the beginning and setting up my bones all together at once. All right, thank you for this tutorial, and stick around for more.